So I land and I go over to where I rented the plane at General Aviation, and I said, "This is great." I said, one of your windows fell out of the plane. He says, "You're going to pay for that." I said, "What am I going to pay for that?" I said, "The goddamn thing fell out of the plane." I said, now maybe somebody's going to pick it up when they're on takeoff or something like that. But you got to clean that crap up out there.
Welcome to Achieving Failure, a podcast that gives you a break from politics, popular trends, and brings you good old-fashioned life stories that made us who we are today. Sit back and relax with your host, Chris, as he brings you another exciting adventure on how to achieve failure.
Welcome back to Achieving Failure. I'm your host, Chris. This week, my father is back.
You're talking about mechanical things, cars, a car mishaps, and that sort of thing. And if you have the luxury of flying, doing a little of your own flying, almost every trip has an event. I mean, it's like, it's not like going to the grocery store and nothing happens. It's like something always happens. And there's a few times that I'll relate to you. So, I get out and I used to work at Bendix Aviation, and they were guidance systems, aircraft systems, avionics, and that sort of. I worked for those different divisions. So at lunch, we thought nothing of going over. We're right there. I mean, they built that runway. They built Teterboro because of Bendix, because they developed all this equipment for airplanes. So it was a 5-minute walk across the street, and you get in a plane, you go up, you bring a sandwich, and you put in some time and practice some maneuvers. And it was very routine, and it was very cheap. I think I was trying to look for the information, how much it cost. It cost about $250 an hour to rent a small plane today. At that time, I'm going to guess it was $19. And maybe it was $15. Maybe it was $19 if you had an instructor, but I was going up on my own. So I was taking my sandwich, and I'd go up and I'd be eating while I'm doing it and that sort of thing. But there was always something happening. There was always some crap that was going on. And, one time I get out there and I say, okay, and I'm calling down. Okay. I'm, ready for takeoff, runway 6. And he said, okay, get in position, hold. Okay, I'm in position, hold, wait for clearance. Okay, you're ready for takeoff, go. And I go there, and I'm gaining speed. I'm up and looking at the tack. I'm checking out the speedometer, and it's getting close to about 65, 70 knots, where I'm just about to rotate, and the window falls out of the aircraft. And now that's a little frightening right off the bat. Plus, it changes the dynamics of the airplane right away. And I'm going like this, and I think I might have squawked to the tower, "Holy shit," or something like that. And so I of course, I take off, and I get into position. I say, "Listen, I got a real problem here." And I said, "What are you? I can't hear you." I said, "You can't hear me because I got a window here. It's noisy. I got to do a go around." Okay, good. Do a go around. Come down to land. I land, and now I got to miss the goddamn window, which is on the runway now. So don't hit that while you're landing on the same thing. So I land, and I go over to where I rented the plane at General Aviation, and I said, "This is great." I said, one of your windows fell out of the plane. He says, "You're going to pay for that." I said, "What am I going to pay for that?" I said, "The goddamn thing fell out of the plane." I said, now maybe somebody's going to pick it up when they're on takeoff or something like that. But you got to clean that crap up out there. "Oh, okay, all right. Well, blah, 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 blah." So I said, "Well, I'm going back. I'm not paying for this, And I'm going to relate. I think I'm going to relate that to a story from Missouri when I moved to Missouri, because it kind of related. But one of the things you do is it's your responsibility to check the plane over to make sure that it's functional.
Pretty much doing a walk around.
You never take anybody's word for it. There's a checklist. One of the things you do is you check to see that the tank is full of gas. You check to see that the gas is clean. I mean, you take.
Now, how do you check? How do you actually check to make sure the gas is clean? Because on a single prop dual, you're not talking about turbine engines, you're talking about prop planes. Are you like
Yeah,
sticking?
Well, literally, you're taking a sample from the tanks.
Yeah, but are you
and-
doing like a dropper kind of thing? Like you
Yeah,
doing like,
there's a spot where we're under the tanks, and we flew mostly the Cessna high wing, so it was easy to get to. But whether it's a high wing, a low wing, there was a spot where you could take a gas sample, and you would look at it in a vial, and you would see, does this have dirt or water, especially water, or condensation? Has the plane been sitting there for a month? And when you start cranking it over, you're going to be up there and you're going to be stalling out. The engine's going to conk out on you. You don't want that. So you do that and you check that routinely, and of course you check to make sure it's topped off. And I'll tell you a disastrous story just happened here a week or two ago in San Diego. Actually, a week ago in San Diego. But anyway, you check that through, and one of the things you check, at least at this time for these planes, you check the oil level, and the oil level was always, like pretty close, but not perfect. It was like, oh, yeah, okay, it's within range, but it was always like gunk. It was always dirty and filthy, and like, man, did they ever change the oil on this damn thing? And oil changes are expensive, so they kind of push it off, and whatever. But so I get this plane, and I say, okay, I'm going out, and I notice that I take it off, I take it out of its spot, and I start rolling, and the brakes don't work at all. I mean, they're funny, and I said, maybe it's me. I'm kind of new at this. Maybe it's me. I shouldn't really complain, which is stupid. You should always say something. So I take the plane up. I do my shtick for an hour or two. Put some
Now I
time
gotta
in.
ask, how long you've been flying? How many hours have you actually clocked when you're doing all this?
At that point, maybe 40, 50.
Okay, so you're
I'm new at this, right?
yeah, but
You
you're
know.
doing it solo. So.
I'm all, visual VFR. It's all. So I don't even know why they let me up, to be honest with you. But I'm up and I'm flying. I come back and now it's time to land. And well, thankfully Teterboro is a really long runway, and I land and well, God damn it, my original supposition, those brakes are pretty non-existent, right? And I'm flying down the runway and I'm going really far. And, I'm doing everything I can, I'm putting up flaps down to, increase drag and that sort of thing. And the tower's going, yeah, 17135, get to turn off at Alpha, Bravo, what, Charlie, Delta, one of them to pick one.
That's the old airplane movie where everybody keeps
Right,
chasing
keeps
the
moving.
chasing the
Right.
gates.
So I said, I'm trying. I'm having problems with the brakes. And it's, well, do you need help? I said, well, yeah, right. But anyway, I had enough time, and I stopped, and I bring it back, and I go into general. And now I'm really pissed. And I don't know if this before the window accident or after. And I said, I'm a little meek guy. I said, I got a complaint. I said, those damn brakes. I used up like all of the runway to stop today. And the guy looks up and he says, brakes. What about the brakes? I said, they didn't work. He says, what do you need brakes in the air for? You don't need brakes in the air. I said, what's the problem now? I said, I'm dumbfounded, right? I'm totally, just crazy crap. Well, did I ever, I mean, I did a solo flight once. Did I ever talk about that? I mean, that's obviously prior to what we just talked about. Because obviously at the point I was going up and the windows falling out and all this other crap, I had already got my clearance for solo. I mean, I was already flying, so it was, fine. But when I did a solo, we went up to Orange County in New York, a beautiful summer day. I remember this very clearly. And the rules are much different today. They are so different. I can't believe how different they are. I used to sit out on the runway. I used to go to Teterboro and sit at the end of the runway, and I'd have my radio and I'd listen to air traffic, and I would have the planes that would the wind would come over me. I'd just, oh, this is great. This is fabulous. And then I remember trying to take a few dates on that, and that didn't pan out too well. They didn't seem to be on my same wavelength, I said, this is really good. We're going to sit at the end of the runway and the planes are going to go like right over your head. They go, what? I said, yeah, it's really cool.
Are you the
that's-
Gene Shepard
no,
with
that-
the transistor radio, and he's talking about the diodes, and the girl's like,
Right. that-
I don't give
I
a
don't
shit.
I really not interested in that. Now, are we supposed to be out here? I said, yeah, but at night they don't really see you, right? That's why I'm wearing black, right? But where was I going? So we're out, go up to Orange County. I'm flying around. He says, okay, let's do some touch and goes. We do some touch and goes. And then we come in and he says, all right, what I want you to do is circle back, line up with the runway, just hold short. And he gets out. He just gets out of the plane. And I go, Ray, where are you going? He says, you're on your own. I said, what does that mean? He says, you're on your own. He picked me up here. I want you to do at least 2 touch and goes and then pick me up here. Now, I don't know how we had apparently up there, you could do any damn thing you wanted. So I said, oh, well, okay. All right. He closes the door. I go out. I go up and around. Big deal. It's a nice summer day. I'm coming in for, I thought I told you this one. I'm coming in. This is my first solo landing. And there's Ray down there at the edge of the runway, and I'm like at like 11,000 feet. And I'm going, I don't think I can make it. I better get down really quick. So I get the plane really in bad shape, you're like really out of, I'm doing this slip on the side here and I shouldn't even be doing it full flaps. And I'm going sideways down, like any minute the plane could just crash. Right. And I can't lose the altitude. So I just do a go around and I could see him down there going like, what the fuck are you doing up there? Right? So I go around and I do another. Now it's my second one now. Okay. Now I think I got it. I did a long final, which really helps. You got to do a long final. Good, then you can line up. So I'm on the final. I said, "Oh, perfect! This is going to be so perfect." Just on that last approach, this bug comes through the window. You got ventilation coming. It's a summer day, This large bug, comes through the vent, and I see it coming up in front of me. And it goes right down my shirt. I thought I told you this story. Goes right down my shirt. You couldn't do this if you tried, right? Goes right down my shirt. And it's some large bug that also wants to bite you, right? And it starts biting the crap out of my stomach. And here I am on final, and the plane is doing this, that, and the other thing. And it's all over the place. Now I look down and I see Ray, and now he's really worried. He says, I don't even think this guy's getting down. I said, I got this to worry about on my conscience now, right? And I'm scratching. I'm trying to do this, and I got, okay, we're going to go around, okay. And I go around the third time. I come in. I do. And then I stopped. I didn't even do a touch and go at that point. I came in and I went around. He says, what the hell was going on? And I had to explain all of this to them. He says, all right. That wasn't actually too bad with all that explanation. But, all the things that kind of stupid stuff, right? Like a bug coming in and literally, and the bug later, I found it was in my shirt. I take it as this big damn bug with teeth and everything like that. So, just stupid stuff.
But that's not even a worse for instructors jumping out of the plane. You had the one that had you do the engine stall.
You mean the wing over thing?
Yeah.
The wing over. What? Well, that was when Ray wasn't there, so we had his.
had a
I said, "Where's
fill-in."
Ray?" So Ray, he's I don't know, he's got diarrhea or something. I'm taking over today, and what was his name? I can't. Mike, Madman Mike, and he says, "Okay, it's important you do stalls and that sort of. The stalls are a little crazy,
On paper, I know what a stall is, but for others that don't, you're literally talking. The angle of attack exceeds the airflow, and you just kind of lose that gravitational force, right?
Well, you lose lift.
Yeah.
You lose lift. So what happens is you're bringing your plane up. You keep nosing up until that angle attack is so great that there's no more lift on the plane. Now, what's going to happen to the plane? The plane is going to fall.
Yeah.
And it's going to start to fall. Initially, it's going to start to fall in its heavier spot, which is the engine, right? But if you keep pushing it, right? If you keep trying to keep it from falling, you will fall on its tail. And they do that at air shows. They do all sorts of crazy stunts at air shows. But in a normal thing, your practice stall is to bring that nose up so that you are actually stalling, and then when you hear the stall indicator, meaning you have no lift, then you know what to do. And there's a couple of ways you do that. You nose down, you add power, you do that sort of stuff. That's important because that's a simulation to landing. When you're landing, that's exactly what you're doing. You're stalling the plane 5-6 feet above the runway. Then you stall it at just the right moment so that when the stall hits perfectly, your wheels are on the ground. That's the idea of practicing it. But then, of course, Mike wants to do one further thing. And right on the dashboard, it says, Cessna 17135, no wing overs. It's a big dyno label maker, right? No wing overs allowed. Okay. He says, you ever do a wing over? I said, Mike, I don't think we're supposed to. And the way just forget that. I said, but you're the instructor. He said, I'll show you. You never did one? He said, it's really good. He says, you do a stall, right?
It's really good.
So I said, yeah, but this is, he says, I'll show you. It'll take 2 seconds. And so you bring the plane up. And now, normally in a stall, you're powering back, okay? So you're losing engine power. You're bringing your nose up. You're losing lift. And instead of doing this, we've got full power. We've got 100% power. We've got no flaps. And we're bringing this nose up, nose up, nose up, nose up, nose up. And finally, he said, watch this. And he kicks it. He kicks it really hard, and the plane wings over. Okay, so the wing over is the idea is that you go upside down, you put your wing over, and then you come out of it. And at the time we were doing it, we're over New York in this Muncie area, and there's where we have a lot of people with pools. And I don't think we were really that high. We're probably like 2,000 or 3,000 feet high. And we were literally, you lose altitude really fast before you recover. And I saw these people, I won't forget this because I'm not making it up. We saw these people standing around a pool, and they saw this plane coming, and you could see like tiny little ants. They were scurrying to get the hell away because it looked like we were going right for that pool, right? They were scurrying away. They were just, get the hell out of here, right? So, well, I did everything I could not to puke. And then he pulls it out. He said, wow, man, let's do it. I said, let's not do that again. Right. And we go back and that sort of thing. And then we parked the plane, and I'm still getting a little shaky from that one. And then he finds out I have a Corvette, and he says, you have a Corvette? I said, who told you that? He says, you did. I said, oh, shit. He said, could I drive it? I mean, he gets in the car right away, and he drives down Industrial Avenue like at 150 miles an hour. And I'm going, oh, dear Jesus, help me. So, that was so cool. That was really great. He says, wow, next time come back, ask for me, okay? I said, I don't think I can afford to do that.
Is that why you gave up your pilot's license?
Oh, God. It's funny. I mean, the limited amount of times I was up, there's a story for every time. It's truly amazing. I mean, I remember my instructor took us up, and we were practicing, and I said, so Ray, I said, wow, it looks really gray out there. He said, no, it's fine. Everything's fine. And because he wanted the money, he wanted to get the hours in, he's okay. So he's an instructor. And we go up, and we go to Morristown. We go around. We do some time, and it's getting really bumpy. And he said, hey, we better head back. Well, a storm front came in. Now I've got like 4 hours. I don't know any of this. And he comes in. He's holy crap, and it's black. And we're coming in and it was I'm going to say it was 19. 19. So I think it was 19, and that's north. So we're going north, and actually one and 19. So we're going north to land, and this guy who was I'm not even touching the controls at this point. I got it from here. He was struggling to get this thing on the ground, and I was looking. I said, we land at like 60. What, 60, 80? Right? Come in at 85 and then drop it off from there. He's like doing 95, 100 knots to get this thing on the ground, right? And we just slam it to the ground, and he pulls it. He did a good job, but he was not a very emotional guy. And he comes in, And he parks the plane, and everybody goes, "Whoa, man, had really bad weather out there." He says, "So Ray, how was it?" He says, "Yeah, this is the worst I've ever had. This is absolutely the worst I've ever seen." Right? Yeah, did I just have my ass saved? Did God intervene here? You know, it really was. I remember that. It was. I would never have been able to do that. Those crosswinds. Oh my God. I remember he came in as a crab, and it was like literally 100 knots. He said, I just slammed it into the ground. He said, I didn't even know if the gear was going to break. He said, I just wanted to get it on. I remember my instructor telling me, just slam it into the ground. And I did that, and it worked. I said, "Oh." So I guess he was okay. I guess he was a pretty good instructor. At least at that point. So.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode. For more info, find us on Facebook and Instagram. And if you have a story you'd love to share, shoot us an email at aflvpodcast@gmail.com. That's AF, Achieving Failure, LV, Las Vegas, podcast@gmail.com. Thanks again, and we'll see you all next time